Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Let's try this thing again. Can you guys see me? Sorry, just trying to see if this is working. Trying to see. Okay. So Facebook, you guys are rocking it. You can see me. Thumbs up, everybody. How is everyone tonight? I am just waiting to see if I can be seen on YouTube. Sorry, we are working with the YouTube is not making this easy on us at all. Awesome. Okay, YouTube's working. I just need to find a way to see the commentos. Right now I can't. So one more time, sorry, I know I did this a little bit before. How is the level for you guys? Thank you, Carl, if you can still hear me, for helping me with all that. Like I said, I'm just waiting on the live part to kick in here on YouTube. I'm not seeing it. Okay, here we go. Awesome. Okay, we are good to go. Hi there, everybody on YouTube. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. Now I'm juggling between screens. So how is everyone tonight? We are talking about how to practice scales effectively. You know, just kind of how to get the most out of the scale. So levels are fine. Levels sound great. It's perfect. Thank you, Richard. Those are good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Perfect. Well, then let's go ahead and get going. So, you know, the first thing, of course, is, you know, what scale are you wanting to learn? So there's all kinds of ones. And one thing, real quick before we go on, there will be a Q&A section here at the end. So I'm going to kind of teach for probably about 45 minutes. We do have a special offer for you guys who tune in right before the Q&A. I'll hit you guys with that. And then you can ask me any questions at all you have. You know, whether it's guitar related, you know, I don't know what other questions there could be. You know what I mean. So let's go ahead and talk about these. So practicing them, you know, efficiently or effectively, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, there's a lot of different ways. And one of the big things that I've been doing a lot of, someone mentioned harmonic minor, is I practice a lot with droning notes. And what I've been finding is droning backing tracks on YouTube. And I'm going to kind of talk about this side of practicing and just, you know, tips for practicing your scales to get the most out of them. So, like you mentioned, harmonic minor. So, what they have is these droning backing tracks. You can just type in drone and E, whatever key you want to work out of. We'll do harmonic minor, so we'll do E. So we can. Sorry if you guys hear my phone. I have it. That's Carl. Hi, Carl. Help me here at Guitar Control. And basically, so it's a droning note, and you can basically make the note whatever you want it to be. So the track would pretty much just be that. And over top of it, you would play over top of that. Be like your E, But you can do this with anything. Like, that's E harmonic minor. You could practice E mixolydian. Whatever you kind of want out of it. You can do both. So, like, these joining backing tracks are really, really super, super helpful. And when we talk about hair products, you can ask me questions about hair products at the end, if so be it. So that's one thing I really encourage people to practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a droning note, and we're going to use our pentatonic scale, but we're going to rock out to our major pentatonic scale. So it's really, really cool because you can have that droning note, and you can do this with a lot of stuff, but one thing that works really well with the key of E is, you can have an entire, basically, progression of open strings. Because out of the key of E, your 1 would be your E, you'd have a 4, rocking it in A, and you can go to a D and it's going to sound great. So you can have E, stuff like that, and it's super, super, super effective to practice because you have something more. Like I said, I think what happens with a lot of people when they practice scales, like if you learned like your E major pentatonic scale, whatever position you learn it, just practicing like that doesn't quite have that that feel to it, It's not, you don't have another note to kind of bounce it off of. It really just sounds like a scale, and that's really not what people want. I've never went to listen. I'm like, man, I want to hear that guy play a scale so bad. That's not really the way it is. We have the scales as this nice map to create music, to kind of connect the idea from our head to our hands. So let's take our E major pentatonic scale. So if you don't know your major pentatonic, or how to find it, if you know your minor pentatonic, well, you are golden already. So we're just going to do box 1 of E minor. I'll show you how to get E major real quick. And let me check something really quick on you guys. Okay, so you can see the guitar pretty well. Sorry, I literally have 3 screens up right now, so I'm a guitar player, musician. This is pushing the limit of what I can handle. So we have your minor pentatonic. So a real simple way to find your major pentatonic is just find your minor and move it back 3 frets. So we're going to do E minor, which is 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, and 12, 15. So that is E minor. Now, like I said, shift it back 3. You're just going to go to 9th fret, which is C sharp, so we're rocking our relative minor. You're just going to do the same exact pattern. So we're going to go 9 to 12, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 12, and 9, 12. Now you're rocking E major. So before, you can hear the difference too. Like if you play an open low E string, this is why using open notes is so helpful. This is the minor. This is the major. Big difference there. So when we have that going on, like I said, you can practice your major scale with suddenly a backing track to it. Even if you don't have a backing track, someone said you multitasking fool, Carl. So you can take that and have something more. So if you just sat there and played your scale, it gets boring quick. I'm not gonna lie. That stuff is not the most exciting thing, Vocal channel's too low. How about now? Let me know how that is, guys. Is that any better? My mic says I'm clipping, so let me know if I'm rocking out too much on the vocal side of things. But oh sweet, I can do that. Man, this program does all kinds of stuff. Better? Sweet. If it needs to be louder, let me know. The mic says I'm clipping, but on the stream says it's not. So anyways, so we have that, and now all of a sudden all you have to do is avoid your low E string. Okay? So you have that, and this is actually really good practice for doing this stuff. Now if you have any kind of, trim system, you want to avoid bends, and you can do them, that my trim is locked down so I can do it. If you have a Floyd Rose and you try to bend an open note, it's going to drop it. It's going to make it go flat. But, so what we're doing is we're playing an open low E string, and we're going to start on the A string with our scale. So we're going to go 9-11, 9-11 on the D, 9-11, 9-12, 9-12. Okay, so we have open and low E. This makes practicing this stuff so much more enjoyable. So it's one of those things that it just makes it to where all of a sudden you're not practicing. Practicing is not what's happening. You're just playing guitar. You're creating music. And before you know it, what happens is you end up kind of stumbling upon things. So I always recommend people, when you're practicing like this, have dedicated time to just practice, you want some structure to be involved. And this is why the droning notes are so good, because practicing with a backing track is amazing. It's a great tool. The only downfall to it is it's a slightly more unfocused way of practicing stuff. It's focused in its own way, but what's happening is you're listening to the drums, the other guitar, the bass. You're coming with a melody to go over top of it. It's a different kind of focus. Now, when you just have a droning note, you're not bouncing off of anything other than this one note. So it's much more focused. So when you're playing that, to sit there, and I would have, like I said, a set amount of time where you just sit there and go, except don't mute it like me. Just sit there and keep doing that. Maybe move up to box 2. Box 3. Oh. Wherever it might be. And then what you can do is have time to try to, come up with something. And that's using the whole scale. So one of the big things that happens is you're playing this. And you want to focus on exactly what's happening. So when you go through this, playing your scale, it can be a little bit of a daunting task because you end up wanting to use the whole scale all the time. So when you're trying to build up like your scale chops and stuff like that, I do not recommend doing it in a way that is using the whole scale all the time. Limit yourself. See if you can come up with a nice little melody with only using, like 4 notes. 4 notes as I hold up 2 fingers. Something like that, So you have E, and then it's going to be 9-11, 9-11. Just those 4 notes. So can you come up with a melody out of that? Because this is limiting you, and it's going to make you focus much more on the rhythm side of practicing your scale versus trying to use the whole scale. So we have our open low E string. So let's see if we can come up with a melody. So I'm just using 9-11 on the D and G. So we're going to go. I know I went out of what I originally said there for a second. But what's cool is, so we came up with something right there. Now, what was the idea behind it? I was going. Okay, so we have that, and then what if we moved it down a string, Something like that, So we came up with a very simple idea, and we're applying it to the other parts of the scale. And we can kind of like fish around and find which one we like best. Maybe you want an octave of it, So I think that's like a very like effective way of practicing the scale and putting it into a musical kind of way, a very musical situation, versus it just sounding like a scale. Because already now it's sounding like music. We took the technical side of it and we're applying it to making music, which for most people is the end goal. So we have that side of practicing this stuff. And the other side that I wanted to do was actually running through the scale itself. Because if you just practice the scale like this all the time, it's kind of hard to get out of that sound. That's what the scale will sound like. So let's take that, for instance, and let's go 3 notes at a time, and we're going to mix up the pattern. Already, I love it a million times more. So I'm playing 9 on the A string. I'm going to 11 on the A. I'm sorry, I'm 9 on the low E string, 11 on the A. Then I'm going to 9 on the D. Okay? That's the shape right there. And that's going on. And we have that. Okay? So we have that going on. And we're just going to keep moving through the scale that way. And I'm sorry, hold on for 1 second. Send this out. Okay, so we have this kind of going on like that. Now, like I said before, we're going to move it through our scale. So the next thing that we have to do is you go to 9 on the A. Okay, then you're going to go to 11 on the D, and then you go to 9 on the G. Sorry, to those who are wondering, that was my wife. She called me 3 times, and it's really bad weather right now, and I'm like, uh-oh, is everything okay? She just forgot I was doing a live stream tonight. So sorry about that. So we have that pattern, and already very musical. Like, to me, that's already, like, even just sitting here, the wheels are turning in my head. I'm like, and I'm like, okay, what if I change the bass note? And that's what happens when you start going through these scales in all these different ways. And, all of a sudden you find these different avenues of playing the stuff. So we have that. Let's keep going with it. We're going to play 9 on the D, 11 on the G, and then 9 on the B. Now we do it one more time. We have 9 on the G, 12 on the B, and 9 on the high E. So just simply by rearranging the pattern of stuff, it's made it much more musical, much more challenging for one, but it's giving us a new path on the fingerboard. And someone mentioned using a looper pedal. That is amazing advice. Definitely, if you have a looper pedal, I have one right here. It is not plugged up because my other guitar cable died. That was in the mix tonight, and it died like right before the live stream. It's been one of those days. But yeah, lots of like I was mentioning, the droning backing tracks are literally just a single droning note that I've found on YouTube and stuff like that, and it makes it so cool because what happens when you practice with, I know this is like a little off topic, but when you practice with a single note, there's no other notes dictating anything. So what I mean by that is, like, if you have a chord progression that is, or maybe like a chord, it's like, a chord that's going to dictate a certain sound, like you want Lydian. Something like that, you can do that, but what's cool is with a single note, it can be whatever you want. Even the Simpsons theme, but not quite. That's Lydian. So it's just really interesting how that one note, because what happens is it's up to you to color the note. It's up to you to make it sound how you want it to. So it makes practicing with modes and scales really, really good. Now, I don't want to say ever limit yourself to that, because you do want to get used to practicing scales and stuff with chords. You want to understand what's happening with the chords to bring out the sound of the modes, which is for another day and stuff like that. But it's it's just a really, really effective way to practice. And like the looper is a great way too. The only downfall to the looper is, I guess it's not even a downfall. You can put different rhythms to stuff. Like if you did like a single note and you're like, that's our riff. A, and I want to do A Phrygian. See? Now, let's go back. Let the air kind of clear for a second. Let our ears get adjusted. Go back to A, and I'm going to go A Lydian. You know, whatever it might be. But you can see how just that one note, my scale made the note sound like what I wanted it to sound like versus the backing track dictating the note. So that's just another way to practice your modes and scales and stuff like that to kind of fast track it to get into that sound. But we will talk about that a little bit more here in a second. Yes. It's telling me that Facebook audio went off. Can you guys still hear me on Facebook? Yeah, I see some questions about the guitar. Like I said, when I do the Q&A section, hit me up with all your questions, and I'm happy to answer them. I just want to watch and make sure that you guys can still see me on Facebook. Because it just said, I think you can see me, but it said the audio was turned off. Yes? Okay, all right. I don't know what Facebook's talking about then. Okay, sorry if you guys could like hear me drinking this through the microphone. My bad. So that's one way. So what we're doing is we're exploring new avenues through the scale, which is something that I try to do all the time. When I'm sitting there practicing a scale, and we're going to hop scales here for a second, is I constantly try to think of new ways to get through the scale. So that was all like that. That was some pentatonic stuff. I love the pentatonic scale. I'm a total pentatonic player. And there's just a million things popping up. I don't know what's happening right now. My email apparently is telling me I'm not signed in. I don't know what's happening. Sound as well as video. Okay. Yeah, like I said, loopers are very affordable. But the cheapest looper is going to be a free one on YouTube, or just sitting there like having your open low E string. So let's kind of, like I said, we're going to hop scales for a second. We're going to go to our G Ionian mode, or just known as the G major scale. So this one goes like this. And then, no, I'm just joking with you guys. It's going to go 3-5-7 on the low E and A. Then you go 4-5-7 on the D and G. And 5-7-8 on the B and high E. Now, if you don't know that one already, you just want to sit there, kind of rap on it a little bit. Just sit there and make sure you can ascend and descend it smoothly. The process for me to learn a scale is, for one, just getting under your fingers first. Okay? So once you have that, then don't start with the metronome. Start by just memorizing the scale first. Learn it at your own kind of speed, even if it's not like the most consistent speed. Learn it on your own and then incorporate the metronome. It's a much more effective way to practice and learn your scale. Now, the second tip for learning a scale even faster is, think about it. How much of a scale is based off of muscle memory? Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play each line, each string, twice. So what am I doing? I'm literally building I'm doing it twice, so I have twice the muscle memory going on. So I'm going to go 3-5-7 on the low E and the A, on the low E and the A twice. I'm going to go, and you could pick it or hammer on. Maybe you're a legato kind of person. Either one works fine. But the important thing is my hand is doing that motion twice. So it's learning this twice. And I move down to the next one, which is 4-5-7. Hop down again. We're going 5-7-8. And make sure, this is very crucial, make sure you descend the scale too. Don't just practice it one direction. That is going to help so much with memorizing the scale. Now, the next issue is kind of what we were talking about before with the pentatonic one, is it's going to sound like a scale when you play it like that, you know? Show off the guitar model. Oh yeah, I'll definitely show the guitar here at the end, man. And so we have that. Now, one of the things like I said, I try to really focus on with my own playing is how else can I get through the scale? How can I get to point A to point B without just playing the scale? You know. So one thing you can do is I like to keep the like a 4 or 5 note sequence. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go 3, 5, 7 on the low E string. And this is another crucial point. You don't have to play all the notes all the time. So when I get to that A string, instead of doing 3, 5, 7 again, I'm just gonna go to 5. I'm gonna play one note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I go to the D string, I'll go back to 3 notes. I'm gonna go 4, 5, 7. 5 on the G. So already it's creating a much more unique sound. Okay, now I'm going to go to the B string and I'm going to play 5, 7, 8. And I'm going to play 5 on the high string. Or, whatever note you want to end on. So I have this now. Okay. I like that sound a lot more than... Other one is kind of like stale sounding, and this one to me has a new kind of spin on it. And I would just sit there and practice that, ascending and descending. So, like I said, but the crucial part of that is understanding that you don't have to use all the notes, because it's a very easy pitfall to fall into, that our thought process is, oh, these are the notes we can use, we need to use them all. Don't necessarily think that way. It goes back to the famous saying, sometimes less is more. So sometimes using less of the notes is a much more powerful tool to making it not sound like a scale. So we have those, and like I said, so, and I would just work my way up the scale. So that's if you know the rest of your modes. We're not going to cover all of them today, but that would be kind of chilling in Ionian. Dorian would be next. Kind of keep moving your way. Phrygian, Lydian. Lots of different ways to kind of get through those, but it's going to give you a much more unique sound when you're trying to get through those. Now, the next one I wanted to do out of this kind of like sequence is even less notes. So again, going back to the less is more kind of thing. So I'm going to be skipping a lot of notes this time. Like the one before still had quite a few notes in order. I'm going to be going 3 to 7 on the low E string. So then I go to 5 on the A. Okay. Next I'm going to go to 4 to 7 on the D. Oh, hello. Wrong note. Okay. Now I'm going to go to 5 on the G. Now I'm going to totally mess with you guys here for a second. And we're going to add some notes I didn't talk about, but they're still part of the scale, trust me. And we're going to go 3 to 7 on the B. And you can go to 5, or if you want to be all root notey, you could go to 3 on the high string. So, okay, I'm a root note kind of guy, so I'm going to go to that G note. But listen to that sound. I'm pulling all these notes from the scale. Has a very like arpeggiated sound to it, and I personally love that sound. Going through the scale, and it just gives you a much more creative sound. I mean, there's lots of ways to get. There's so many different ways to kind of go about building that into different areas and stuff like that. So, oh, sorry, we have a visitor. Hey, go back in there, okay? Wait with Mom. Oh, you need a hug? Sorry, guys.
I'm not here, City.
Hug. All right, I'm doing a live stream.
I'm not here.
Oh, okay. Head back in there, man. That's the official boss. So. Anyways, sorry about that. Normally he's with his grandma, but they are sick this week, so he's kicking it here with me. Probably eating donuts and stuff. So, anyways, so we are going to take that one, and like I said, you can move it. And now, even just to sit there and practice, just a single section of that, just going. Okay, so we're gonna go that much. So 3 7 5 4 7. Now you're gonna pull back off. See, now we're repeating this. You're gonna pull back off to 4, back to 5, and then 7 on the low E string. So, okay. So this is kind of like, it reminds me of like that Richie Kotzen, if you're familiar with his playing at all. He does like a major 7 arpeggio in kind of a cool way. That's what's happening here, and you just want to sit there and sit on this. Now, as far as picking, you could alternate pick this however you want. You could incorporate more hammer-ons and pull-offs. I'm using kind of like a sweep pick, so I'm going 3 hammer-on 7, and I pick down, and I go through 5 on the A, which is another down, and 4 hammer-on 7, pull off the 4. And I'm kind of, so it goes down, 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 hammer, pull off, up, up. And what happens is when you get that kind of motion down, you can use this kind of like sweep, and it doesn't have to always be perfectly in time. Like before we're going, right in line. Now we're going. Lots of different ideas, and that's kind of that Richie Kotzen-ish thing that he'll do. So you could sit there and just move that through the scale. So, and the biggest thing is, is this inspiring? Even guitar players have kids. In my mind, this is inspiring new ideas, new rhythmic ideas. So we have that. And so far what we've focused on very much so has been the technique side of things. And, it's all super crucial, technique and stuff like that. But I really want to focus on rhythm as well. So I would take all the stuff that we did and work on it, Just kind of sit there, work on the way that you're going through it. Okay? And kind of build your way through that. And what we're doing is you're just sitting there creating these new avenues. Think of it as like if you take the same path to work each day or something like that. You travel the same road. You get bored. Sometimes like you might want to take the long way because you want to see something different. So you can take these different paths on the fingerboard because the idea is it's going to take us new areas. Now the last live stream, maybe it was 2 live streams ago, we talked about using some octaves and stuff like that. So I'm not going to quite hit on that in this one. But, octaves is another really great tool for expanding your fingerboard a lot. And so the next one is rhythm. Rhythm in our playing, because you can play a straight scale and add rhythm to it, and it's going to sound good. And I'll show you exactly what I mean as soon as I fuel up. So can everyone kind of understand everything pretty good so far? I'm not babbling too much for you. That's what I needed, more caffeine. All right, now we're into the shred section. No. So we're going to hop back to our wonderful pentatonic scale right now, and let's jam out in A minor. So we're just gonna do our A minor box 1. Sorry, it makes me do the stank face. I'm like, the feels, all of them. So we have this going on, and it's like, how do you play a scale with rhythm? Well, I recommend using a metronome or something like that. Or if you've practiced for a while, a beginner, this is going to be much more challenging for it. But if you're like, like an intermediate player who already has some rhythm, chops established, this is probably going to be a little bit easier for you. So take your pentatonic scale, and if you don't know it, it is 5/8 on the low E, 5/7 on the A, and the D, and the G, 5/8 on the B, and 5/8 on the high E. I don't know why that note makes me make a face. But anyway, so let's think of a rhythm. you know? So sometimes just coming with a riff, this is like a total Paul Gilbert thing, by the way. Just sitting there and go... Okay? So sit there and try to put your scale over top of that with rhythm, you know? And this will be our final kind of hint of the night for practicing things, you know, officially. So you have that riff. And so on with that. Just try to like incorporate that rhythm that you have into actually playing the scale. So that is always, for me anyways, a fun and effective way to kind of like just to play through that stuff. You know, it make like, again, going back to the original topic, it makes it not seem like practice anymore. Now we're just playing. So that is it for the lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, for all of you guys who are hanging in there watching this, we do have a special offer for you. You've been doing these in some live streams and stuff like that, and you guys seem to really dig them. So I'm more than happy to hook you guys up with this from compliments, of course, from Guitar Control. So we have 15% off of, what do we have off of? The killer guitar control secrets. And it actually, it's focused on a lot of the stuff that I was, you know, the topics I was kind of hinting on here. And, you know, the big focus is, you know, just basically playing what you feel, playing from the heart and stuff like that. And that's such a crucial kind of thing. A lot of people don't like to, you know, don't talk about that. It's all about, you need to pick this way, you need to do it like this. So I will go ahead and hit you guys in the comment section with the links for this. Sorry, just take me just a second. Again, you're dealing with me, the guy who, I don't know. I don't even know how I play guitar. If I'm being honest with you guys now. So there is that one. That's on Facebook for you guys if you want to check out that link. And let me hit up YouTube over here with the next one. And then we will head on over to our Q&A sesh for you guys. And let me talk about this here with you for a second. So basically, like I said, you know, it's all about playing from the heart, what you feel and stuff like that. But it's not just like play what you feel. It's a whole course. You know, it's basically 3 giant overall topics. You know, you have a big portion of it is technique. You know, working on technique is one thing is technique adds to the ability to connect those ideas that we're hearing and stuff like that. So whenever you're going through that with all the technique and stuff like that, all it's doing is it's like more tools in your tool belt. So that's kind of what the first part is. The second part, we're going to focus a lot more on navigating the fingerboard. So now we're putting all those techniques to use. And it's kind of cool because this was a course that kind of launched Guitar Control. Claude made it a long time ago, way before I was even a teacher on here. I've been teaching on here for quite a while now, and I've really enjoyed being here. You guys seem to enjoy the videos, and I love hanging out with you guys now on these live streams. And, you know, it's just kind of cool that this is what basically started Guitar Control, was this course. Now it's been kind of revamped and re-recorded and all that stuff, but it's a really, really cool course. And the final one is kind of put, like the final section of the course is putting it all together. So, and that's just understanding how you're connecting those ideas with the techniques, with the fingerboard, with what you just kind of like feel inside, all the feels and all that stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. You got a discount hooked up. That's in both chats, if I did it correctly. Carl, you penned it for me. Thank you, man. Because I'm terrible at doing that. And other than that, let's move on to the Q&A session. So anybody who has questions over anything, hair products, what kind of gum I chew, the guitar was a popular item of you guys. So if anybody has questions about the guitar, feel free to ask away, and I will gladly answer them for you. So I'll give it a minute. I'll noodle around while you guys hit up some questions, and then I'll answer them as they pop up. So I'll just kind of play for a second. Okay. Killer Lesson, thank you so much, man. A new way to practice scales. Thanks. Aw, very, very welcome, Imba. Sorry, I know if you're wondering why I'm just kind of sitting here, the comments are a little bit delayed, so it's about 30 seconds before I see what you guys are posting. I'm using, you are hearing delay, good ear, and it's not a delay pedal though, this is just the axe effects. Thank you so much, Wes, I'm glad you liked the lesson, man. But yeah, you are hearing delay, totally. You are just hearing a digital delay that's in the axe effects. How much time do you dedicate strictly to practice each day or week? I play guitar a lot every day, just with like work and stuff like that. But I still try to dedicate, I'd say at least, I'd say at least an hour a day. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking a few days off, like maybe don't play on the weekends or something like that. I mean, I still play every day, but I'd say at least an hour. I definitely practice more than that. You know, maybe the overall average would be like an hour, but yeah, just all the time, man. As much as I can play, I still, so much to learn. Have you ever used a Roland GR55? No, I have not. I had a Roland Cube, if the GR55 is an amp. I had one of the original Cubes when they came out a long time ago. And it was so good. I sold it to a friend because his basement flooded and ruined his amp, and he needed a new amp, so I just sold it to him for super cheap. But it was a killer amp. Like, that is a really good practice amp. So got a few more minutes here left for questions. If anybody has them. We got a bunch of new videos and stuff, and I'll be back next Thursday. And you can, of course, watch Stephanie on Tuesdays. New Blues Cube sounds amazing. Nice. I need to check out a lot more of the Roland stuff. Oh, GR55 guitar synthesizer. No. I do not. I have a synthesizer sound on here that I can probably pull up, which kind of sounds funky. Let's see here. If I change this to a synth, see what you guys think about this. Oh, man. Hopefully that's not super loud on you guys. Okay, that's enough of that. Great. Now how do I turn it off? Hi there, aw man. I'm gonna butcher your name. Sudhir? So sorry if I know I'm saying that wrong. Really like my teaching. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you, Carl. So we got about a couple minutes left now for any final questions you want to hop in here. But you have to have a special pickup to use the Roland synth. I am not sure, man. a Parker Fly? I do not. I've never actually even played one. I'd very much like to one day, though. I learned to first play guitar by watching your videos. Wow, thank you so much, Caleb. Hopefully you can stand my weirdo personality enough to get to the lessons. In all of my glory. Alrighty. Well, then I think that is it. Carl, are we all good to go? Let me hit you up real quick on here, man. And I didn't even make it to a humbucker tonight. It was all neck pickup. SG or Telly? Telly. Telly all the way. Alrighty, guys. I will see you all next Thursday. Make sure you tune in. We got a new topic for you. Like I said, Stephanie on Tuesdays. Got some quick Facebook videos going on as well. All kinds of stuff ready for you guys. And I will see you next time as soon as I remember how to end this live.